What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and this is your Umar Nurmagomedov versus Raoni Barcelos breakdown. This is one of the better fights on the card. I love this fight. I can't tell you guys how much I love this fight because we're going to really see how good Umar Nurmagomedov is. We're going to see how good his wrestling is, his striking is, and everything. Because Raoni Barcelos is a stud, bro. Yeah, he's 35 years old. He's a little older, but my God, good wrestling, good striking. He can really test Umar in this fight, and I love this fight. Such a good test for him. Is Umar the next champion that everyone thinks he is, or is Raoni Barcelos making another run at that division, proving people wrong? He's on a one fight win streak, and Umar's obviously on a 15-fight win streak, hasn't lost, and it's a really good, phenomenal fight. In terms of the rankings, I think Umar is ranked. Let me check actually. UFC rankings. Let me check the rankings. Ranking. Umar is number 11 and Raoni is unranked at the time. So yeah. In terms of the stats, Umar comes with a record of 15-0. Is fighting at Russia, age 26, a height of 5'8", and reach 69. Raoni Barcelos, 17-3, good record. Is fighting out of Brazil, age 35, a height of 5'7", and reach 67. So certain things I look at: 2-inch reach advantage for Umar Nurmagomedov. He's a little taller, and obviously he's the younger guy. So all the attributes kind of go to Umar. But for skill, man, they're very similar. I would say Raoni obviously has a better boxing game in terms of boxing combinations, boxing counters, and stuff like that. And his wrestling game is really good. We've seen him maul guys, right? And Umar, I would say, has the kicking game on lock and has a really good wrestling game. And his hands are okay. They're getting to his kicks, but his kicks are amazing. And yeah, man, I think it's been really an impressive run for both guys coming up to this moment. But let's talk about Raoni Barcelos, man. He's been around for a minute, man. He's done his thing, and he's kind of been under the radar. I felt like last year was his big year when he beat, or not last year, 2 years ago when he beat Klee Taha. That was his big year where people were like, oh my God, Raoni Barcelos has arrived. He kind of reached that high level, but he has some good wins, man, if you really look at it. I mean, the guy, he has a win over Chris Gutierrez and Said Nurmagomedov, and in those fights I felt like it was his defense, especially in the Said Nurmagomedov fight, it was his defensive wrestling to his controlling the position in certain moments is what won him that fight. I felt like when he controlled the position, he was just on lock, and it was really impressive what he was able to do to Said Nurmagomedov, who's shown to be a really good, solid fighter. And he just won his last fight against Saeed Kakramanov, my bad. And he was losing that fight until then, but still, yeah, I was actually really impressed with Raoni Barcelos' performance against Saeed Nurmagomedov. And then Chris Gutierrez, that was a complete mauling. He took him down and just mauled him, destroyed him. Who Gutierrez is what ranked fucking number 12 in the division, you know, and number 15 and 12, he has wins over those guys. And he mauled Gutierrez, completely destroyed him, and then submitted him in the second round. That was a beatdown. Then he has that loss to Miri Valiev. That was a really close fight. The output and the pace of Valiev kind of won him that fight, and it was close though. I thought you could give it to Raoni Barcelos too. It was close. And then the Victor Henry fight, he completely lost that fight, got outworked, outstriked, couldn't go for takedowns, and that's when Raoni Barcelos showed his age in that fight. I felt like he didn't show the ability to take a guy down when he needed to. He also showed an ego thing where he preferred to strike over wrestling when wrestling's one of his better bases. And that was one of the things that was a big red flag for me going into this matchup is, okay, well, will he offensively and or defensively wrestle effectively against Umar? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, it's a tough one to call. And then his Trevin Jones fight. So he fought Trevin Jones, and he looked good. He was able to hurt Jones. It would take him down, dominate. But Trevin Jones, he's a good fighter. Don't get it twisted. Jones has wins over Valiev, Mario Batista, but we've seen he's a bit of almost like a Michael Johnson thing to him, where he can beat some of the best guys and then he can lose to some of the worst guys, you know. But it's one of those weird things. Just Jones just has power and some decent grappling. That's about it. But yeah, now he's fighting Umar in terms of Barcelos, and yeah, he's coming off that win and those two losses and then some wins prior. But yeah, he's looked all right. He's looked decent, and I think this Umar fight is going to be good. But for Umar, man, he's on a 3-fight win streak. Get some good guys, man. Sergey Morozov, who really gave him a good scrap, a lot of good scrambles. Those guys were going back and forth, man, in that fight, and it was fucking amazing what I saw in terms of those scrambles. It was really, really cool. And yeah, they were going back and forth, and then he hurt Morozov with that fucking kick at the end. No, in the beginning of that second round, and then took him down and was able to finish him eventually in the second round. But that was a good scrap. And then his last 2 fights, I mean, they've been complete domination. He was able to dominate Brian Kelleher with ease and choke him out in the first round. And then Nate Maness, he was able to dominate, took him down multiple times, controlled him for the whole fight. It was kind of boring to watch, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, it is what it is. And he has some phenomenal kicks, man. He landed a beautiful kick on Maness in that third round. Like, yeah, but Maness is really awkward, and he's actually like somewhat of a hard fight sometimes, you know. But yeah, man, this fight right here, man, it is so good. Like, there's ways I can see this fight going. I could see Raoni Barcelos doing another Said Nurmagomedov and beating another Russian, right? I could see him defensively grappling, holding positions, right, when he gets on top, or when he takes advantage of a sprawl, gets the back, or maybe Umar tries to turn on his back, and then you know, Barcelos goes with that flow. The grappling is able to be on top for a little bit. I could see him writing out decisions in rounds like that, more or less rounds like that against Umar. And then maybe landing good boxing combinations, but I just think the age is not on Barcelos' side here. The youth and the attributes is all on Umar. I think Umar has a good kicking game. He's very athletic, and I think he can outstrike Barcelos on the feet. And I think he can get Barcelos tired with the ground and pound and the grappling and the constant just initiating of grappling and striking. He's so good at mixing it up. That's how he beat Sergey. I would say this is going to look like the Sergey Morozov fight for the first round. Really competitive, really good scrambles, a lot of good boxing, a lot of good kicking, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good MMA. Both of these are really, really good. But I think the thing is with this fight, what it comes down to is it's the youth. It's really the youth that is such a big thing, especially at 135. Being 35 years old at 135 is not a good look. And I think Barcelos, does he have something left in the tank? Of course. I think he can beat a lot of guys still. I think he could give Aljamain Sterling a run for his money, honestly. But still, Umar Nurmagomedov is just a monster, bro. And I really do think he will challenge for the belt unless my guy Ricky Simon has something to say about it, you know? You see, that's what hurts. I love Umar, but I also love Ricky Simon, and I hate that they're kind of beefing with each other, which sucks. But hey, it is what it is. If they ever do fight, I'll be a happy fan. But I think Umar's gonna win this fight. I think I'm picking Umar. What is my pick? Actually, I got Umar by third round submission. I think he's gonna finish Barcelos. It's gonna be a good fight, though. This is a good fight. I'm telling you guys, do not miss this fight. I know I said the same thing about the Nate Maness fight, and it didn't live up to expectations. But this one, I think Raoni Barcelos can give this kid a run for his money. So I cannot wait for it. And yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love y'all. Goodbye. Go follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Your boy eBay is out of here.